Good morning, students, and welcome back to the class. Today, we'll be continuing our lesson on animals. Last week, we learned about the beaks and feet of birds. Today, we'll be continuing from the feathers of birds. Okay. All birds have their body covered with feathers. This makes them different from other animals. Feathers of birds are the following type: down feathers, body feathers, and flight feathers. Now, there are three types of feathers that are present on a bird. They are down feathers, body feathers, and light feathers. Okay, moving on. Down feathers. These are fluffy feathers. They are located close to the bird's skin. These feathers are soft and short. They keep the body warm. A nestling newborn has a lot of down feathers. So, now talking about the down feathers are very fluffy. They are located close to the bird's skin. They are soft and short. They keep the body warm. And also, the newborn, that is also known as a nestling, has a lot of down feathers. Okay, so children, this is how the picture of a down feather looks like. I think most of y'all would have seen if it was fallen on the ground. Yes, so this is how the down feather of a bird looks like. Okay, now body feathers. These feathers are present on top of the down feathers. Now, if the down feathers are present here, the body feathers are right on top of the down feathers. They cover the whole body and they also give shape to the bird's body. Body feathers, in its name, it says it gives shape to the bird's body. Okay, moving on. Can you see the picture, children? This is how the body feathers look like. Okay. Moving on, flight feathers. Flight feathers are mostly present on the wings and tails of the bird. So, flight feathers are present on the wings and only on the tails of birds. Flight feathers help the bird to change directions. So, these flight feathers that are present on both the wings and the tails of birds help them to change direction. So we learned there are three types of feathers on a bird, that is down feathers, body feathers, and flight feathers. Okay, moving on. Can you see the picture, children, of flight feathers? Yes, so this is little different than the body feathers of a bird. So they have three feathers in total. Okay. How do birds fly? The wings of the birds are attached to their body with the help of strong muscles. Birds use these strong muscles to move their wings. So now they have very strong muscles that are present on their wings which help them to fly. So while flying, a bird flaps its wings upwards and downwards. Now, the upward movement of wings is called upstroke and the downward movement is called downstroke. So if you observe how the bird flies, it moves its wings up and down. Yes. So when it's going upwards, it's called upstroke, and when it's coming down, it's called downward stroke or downstroke. Okay. A bird uses its tail to change the direction of its flight. Now, the tail helps the bird to change direction or move quickly if it happens to change direction. Okay, now the birds that can't fly are called flightless or running birds. Birds that can't fly are called flightless or running birds. The emus and ostrich are examples of flightless birds. Emus and ostrich are example of flightless birds. As we all know that the ostrich are very fast running birds, but they can't fly. So they are known as flightless birds. Okay, moving on. Can you see in the picture, children? Yes, so this is how the bird moves its wings, correct? Yes, it moves upward and downward. See, the upward stroke and down stroke is happening continuously. Okay, now moving on. Now coming to the nests of birds. Birds build nests using leaves, straws, wool, twigs, cotton and thread. Now birds build their nests in a very interesting way. So they use many things to make a nest. They are leaves, straws, wool, twigs, cotton and thread. Birds build nests at safe place away from danger and bad weather. So basically, why the bird builds its nest is to first stay at a safe place and also to protect itself from bad weather. Birds build nest on terraces, trees, buildings, and sometimes on ceiling fans. So you can see that birds, they build their nest on trees if you observe carefully, and also on buildings. And now very recently we can see that they also build their nests on terraces, and very often sometimes you can see that they build their nests on ceiling fans. Okay. Birds lay eggs in their nest. So when they lay the eggs in the nest, they sit on the eggs and they warm the eggs. So that we will see further. Okay. Now coming to the tailor birds. Now there are few kinds of birds who make their nest or do their nest in a very nice way to protect themselves from bad weather and also to keep themselves safe. So the tailor bird. A tailor bird uses its beak like a needle to sew leaves together to build nests. So this beak of this tailor bird, it sews the leaves or it stitches leaves together to build its nest. It also uses threads and wool to sew the leaves. So when this tailor bird finds some, wool or some kind of a string or whatever it is, it makes it very useful and it stitches leaves together in order to make itself a nest. Okay, so can you see in the picture, children? I'm showing my cursor here. Yes, so this is how the stitching or the sewing is done by this bird, the tailor bird. Okay, moving on, the weaver bird. A weaver bird uses its beak to weave pieces of leaves, grass, or twigs to build nests. The nest has an opening through which the bird enters. Now, if you search on your Google or whatever, you will know that when you put the weaver bird's nest, it's very pretty that it has a small hole and this bird goes inside. So how does it make the nest? So it uses its beak, it weaves. Weaves is nothing but sewing or stitching. Okay, pieces of leaves, grass and twigs, all of this to build the nest. It makes a small opening in which it can enter, and it's like a safe place from both the weather and can keep itself safe. Okay, now can you see in the picture, children? This is the way this weaver bird is in a process of making itself a nest. So you can see it's using leaves, there are twigs, and you can also see some threads here and there. Yes. Okay, moving on, woodpecker. A woodpecker uses its beak to peck into tree trunks and make a hole for a nest. It uses this hole as a nest and lines it with fine stripes of wood. So now, if you see woodpeckers, they make their nest in a very different way. So they pierce in or peck holes into the tree trunk and finally make it into a proper shape where it can enter. And what happens? It takes fine stripes of wood and it makes itself a comfortable home inside the tree trunk. Okay, so can you see in the video? This woodpecker is pecking holes into the tree trunk. So gradually it becomes a huge hole and it can enter inside. Okay. Coming to penguins, penguins live in very cold places as it is difficult to find leaves, twigs, and straws in such places. They collect stones and pebbles and make their nests on the ground. So now penguins live in very cold conditions. You can say they are found in the Antarctica. Yes, children. So now they don't have leaves or twigs or straws that are very available now here. Okay. So what they do, they use stones and pebbles and make their nests on the ground. So if you see this video, can you see the penguin is taking the pebble and it's on its way, and there's like a small bed of pebbles. So this is how it makes its place or its nest, and that's how it keeps itself warm or whatever, or to keep itself protected. Okay, now moving on, nests of birds. Sparrows. Sparrows, bulbuls, and hummingbirds make cup-shaped nests. This is the most common type of nest. The cup-shaped nest protects the eggs and the baby birds. It does not let the babies fall off the nest. So, birds like sparrows, bulbuls, and hummingbirds, they make a very common shape that is like a cup-shaped nest. But this nest helps them to protect their eggs and their baby birds, and also see that their baby birds don't have to fall off. So this is how they make their nest. So can you see in the picture, children? These are the baby birds that the sparrow is feeding. Okay, so can you see the way the nest is? It's almost like a cup. Okay, so it protects them from not falling and also protects them from their safety, for their safety. Okay, now some special features of birds. Ostrich, emus, and penguins are birds that can't fly. Ostrich is the largest bird. It lays the largest egg. So the ostrich is the largest bird. It runs very fast and it also lays the largest egg. A cuckoo does not build a nest. It lays eggs in the nest of other birds. So this, you can say, is a very interesting thing about this bird, the cuckoo. It lays its eggs in other birds' nests. Okay, parrots can imitate our voice and talk like us. Yes, there are few parrots who talk like us, who imitate or repeat whatever we say. Okay, and pigeons can fly for long distance. Because of this, they were earlier used to carry letters and messages to faraway places. So in olden days, children, they never had, mobiles or whatever it is. So what they used to do, they used to write their small messages or whatever they wanted to write in a small piece of paper, roll it up, and they would tie it to the feet of penguins. Why? Because penguins used to travel very long distance, so they used to deliver their messages like this. Okay, so they used to allow the pigeon to fly, and this bird goes and delivers the message. Okay, now some special features of birds. Yes, pigeons mostly stay near human homes, usually in nooks and corners of roofs. This is the most commonest thing we can see in our country. Pigeons mostly stay in human homes, mostly near human homes, near the windows or near the corners of roofs. Okay, coming to peacock is the national bird. It has beautiful feathers. Have you all seen the feathers of penguins live? Okay, if not, it's a beautiful thing to watch, children. The peacock, only when it rains, it brings out its feathers and starts dancing in the rain, and that's the most beautiful thing we can see in this peacock. And most importantly, it's the national bird of India. Hummingbird is the smallest bird in the world. It can fly backwards. It has the smallest egg of the size of a pea. So all of y'all have seen the size of a pea? Yes, so that's how small the egg is. And very interesting is it can fly backwards, and it is also the smallest bird. Many birds fly like cranes long distance for food, shelter, and to escape bad weather conditions. It is called migration. Now for birds, not like how we are, we can wear we can wear sweaters or something. When we feel cold or when we feel hot, we can switch on the fan. But coming to the bird, they can't survive that kind of weather conditions. Okay, and also if there is scarcity of food and shelter, so what happens, they decide to move from one place to another and try to go and live there. So that is called migration. Okay, so owls can't swim to turn around one without moving the other, their eyes. Okay, so they can move one eye without moving the other, and they can also move their head completely around to see right behind. Okay, so you can imagine if your head turns completely behind. So this is a very special feature of the owl bird. Okay, I want to show you two videos, that is the dancing peacock. So this is how it shakes its feathers, especially when it rains. Okay, it usually opens its feathers when it rains. Okay, and now let me show you the owl. Can you see? Can you observe how its head is completely turning? It's turning right around. Okay, so this is few features, some special features of birds. Okay, now parental care for birds. After the eggs are laid in the nest, one of the parent bird sits on it to keep it warm. So like I mentioned already, in the nest there are birds who lay eggs. Yes, so when they lay eggs, these birds, that is the parent birds, that's the mother bird or the father bird, one of them, they sit on top of these eggs and keep the eggs warm. Now the chick grows inside the egg, hatches after some days. So as it grows, it becomes little big, almost the size of a baby bird, and then the egg hatches and it comes out. Now, in most of the birds, both the parents look after their chicks. They feed them and also protect them from danger. So this is obviously what the parents do. So they protect and they also feed the baby birds. Okay. Now, caring for birds and animals. Like animals, birds also need to be looked after, especially during hot summer months. Placing bird baths in open places around the house and gardens are one way of helping thirsty birds. So yes, there are a lot of thirsty birds which are flying around. So what we can do, or what you can do, is we can keep a small bird bath filled with good water, clean water, so that it doesn't affect the birds, because they happen to be thirsty, so they can come and quench their thirst. Okay, now bird baths. Bird baths are small, shallow containers containing water. Birds drink water, bathe, and cool themselves in these bird baths. They are like swimming pools for birds. So bird bath is nothing but a swimming pool for birds where they can drink, bathe, and cool themselves off. Okay, can you see in the picture, children? Yes, this is something what a bird bath looks like. Okay. Moving on, bird feeders. Bird feeders are trays in which you can put seeds so that the hungry birds can come and eat the seeds from those trays. So we can also keep bird feeders, that is some seeds or some bird food which you know of. So you can keep it somewhere outside your house and the hungry birds can come and eat from those. Okay, can you see the bird feeders, children? Yes, so this is how the bird feeder looks. So they can recognize that that is a food for them and they will come and eat. Okay. How to take care of your pets? Feed your pet regularly. You should clean and bathe your pet. Keep their home clean. Do not be cruel to animals. Never hit them. Take them to a veterinary doctor if they are sick. I know for most of you, we all who have pets, you all know how to take care of pets. For those of you who are planning to buy pets, make sure you do these things to take care of your pets. Let's read it once again, children. Feed your pet regularly. You should clean and bathe your pet. Keep their home clean. Don't be cruel to animals. Never hit them. And take them to a veterinary doctor if they are sick. Yes, children. So now we come to the end of our chapter. We finished our chapter. Thank you so much for listening and joining me, and we will see you in the next class. Thank you.